Hello and welcome to episode 121 of the podcast. I have got lots to share with you today. I've got some progress on some projects and some new stuff that has arrived. I'm in the middle of a big office clear out and de-stash, and I'm going to share some of that as well because there's loads of stuff in the de-stash section on my website, and also news of some stuff coming up in the autumn. If you're new here, my name is Anniken. I design knitting patterns. I teach knitting workshops online and in person, and I sell yarn through our website, YarnAddict.co.uk. If you like this video, please give it a thumbs up, and if you haven't subscribed yet, please consider subscribing. Editing Anniken popping in here. I forgot one thing. I have these two sets of needles. I bought them years ago when I first started teaching, and I haven't used them for a long time. This one has 3.75mm short. Are they short or long? I think they're the normal length. Signature 4-ply. There are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 pairs, and then a couple of 2.75. These ones and some other bamboo ones are a bit longer. I don't know what brand they are. They come in this set. And then I have another set, and these are free to anyone who wants them. Apologies for the noise. These are per long straight needles, pony 5mm, and then I have 1, 2, 3, 4, I think, sets of these short acrylic Nipro 5mm ones, and then I have these short Nipro Symphony 5.5mm ones, and I got 1, 2, 3 sets of those. So I am not going to use these needles. I don't take them to workshops anymore. I have them for a long time, but they're still good. So if you run any kind of voluntary group, teaching kids to knit, after school club, teaching kids in a school, run some sort of voluntary group, learn to knit, any kind of community group, voluntary group, knitting for charity, anything, and you need some knitting needles in these sizes. I don't want to split these up and send them off to loads of people. I prefer to just send them off in these. You can have either set or both. Leave me a message below or email me at info@yarnaddict.co.uk. I'll put that on the screen. If you're in the UK, I'll pay for postage. If you're abroad, I would just ask that you pay for postage. So if you're abroad and you want to know how much postage is, just email me and I will find out how much the postage is to your country. Obviously tell me which country you're in, and I will send these out to whoever wants them. If not, I will ask my local knitting group if they want them, or see if a local charity shop will have them. But charity shops aren't very keen on knitting needles, I don't think. They will sell them, but they normally keep them like behind the counter and you have to ask them, I think. And there's nothing wrong with them. They just haven't been used for a long time and I don't really need them anymore. So let me know. Back to the previously scheduled content. Spent a lot of time at home in the last week, over the weekend as well, and I made a really good start on sorting out my office. My office, I refer to it quite a lot, and my office is a mess, and I've always kind of said I don't have enough space, but I also have too much stuff for this space. And I usually, well, I still do, but I usually end up with like quite a few boxes stacked up behind me over there out of sight. Sometimes I struggle to keep it out of sight, but it means that if I want anything from the drawers in the bottom of my Kallax units, I'm looking behind me, I have these Kallax units, and you can see it there, hang on there, I have these like big drawer things I pull out, and there's some over there. I have them all along this wall. There's some over there where I store all the cyberball yarns and Yachtagan yarns that are on my website. And then there are some, I have 2 that store all the stuff I need for my workshops, swatches, samples, yarn, needles, other tools, bits and pieces. and that was a bit of a mess. I had to, like, every time I was teaching, I had to go through all of them to find what I wanted. So I've sorted those 2 boxes out and put all the samples, I think, in one box, and all the yarn and needles in the other box. The needles are in big, like project pouches, and then I had 2 of those over at the far end, which were just full of project bags. And the problem was they were so disorganized that whenever I wanted a project bag, I couldn't find it. So I've sorted through that, and I've probably gotten rid of half my project bags, at least. Yeah, probably about half. And I've put them in a drawer in this bedside unit I've got down here next to the camera, so they're a bit easier to find. So I've made quite good progress, but I still need to do a bit more. I have this bookcase that's a bit of a mess. I've started going through it. I have 2 shelves full of books. I have sorted out some of them and pulled out a few books that are on my website, which I'll show you in a minute. And then I need to go through the other shelves. I'm just looking at it because some of the shelves are starting to bow a bit under the weight, so I need to sort those out. I think I want each shelf to have like just a third to half books, so I'm trying to get rid of half my knitting books, and it's difficult to make those decisions. And then I'm going to go through my yarns. So the yarn you see here is yarn that's on my website. That's all my Marla's yarns that I currently have in stock. But above there, hang on, you can't see that, above there are some cubby holes like that with my stash, and I need to go through that and decide what I'm going to keep, and also tidy it up. And I'm thinking about, I've never done this before, but I'm thinking about making a spreadsheet of all the yarns that are in my stash, because sometimes I'm thinking, I'm sure I got that, and then because I can't see it at the front, I don't go through it. I used to keep all my stash in like big plastic boxes with lids, but I found that more difficult to get through. So I need to go through it and possibly make a note of what I actually have and make some decisions. If there's stuff that's been in my stash for a long time and I haven't used it, like I bought some yarn when we were in Bath in the beginning of May, and I may already have a ball like that. It's a colour I like, so it's fine, but I may already have it. I know I've knitted with it before. That might just be where I remember it, but I wouldn't be surprised if I don't find one. So I need to have a bit of a tidy up in my yarn stash. So there are a lot of stuff already on my website. I'll show you some of this stuff. Well, let me show you now. I've listed quite a lot of fabric. I had a big box of fabric. It's mainly oilcloth or like coated cotton. I bought it to make bags, and I haven't made any bags for a long time, so I'm getting rid of it all. There are some regular cotton fabric as well, and that's all on my website at really, really cheap prices. And then there are some yarns on there as well. Then I have some project bags. I have 3 from Plystre, which is a Norwegian, or was a Norwegian company. She doesn't do yarny business anymore. She's now a food writer and influencer. But these 3 are all from Plystre. And I like them all, but I just don't use them very often for various reasons. Either because I have, hang on, I either don't use them because they're too big, or because I have other project bags in the same size that I prefer. I have some like that style, perfect for things like socks and hats and small projects. I have several drawstring ones with like a wrist loop. This would be perfect for socks, especially if you're knitting on magic loop. I have some more drawstring ones, and then I have these 2. These are like triangle bags. I've ironed them, so they're going to be flat, but they're basically like that. And the good thing is that the yarn can feed out of here, and then you can put the wrist on your arm, so you actually knit on the go. I may keep this one because I do quite like that one, the one with elephants. I assume these are made by the same makers, but I don't know who the maker is because it doesn't have a label in them. But I haven't used them for a long time. This one is quite cute. This is an open kind of like bucket bag, quite stiff kind of thick kind of lining, interfacing, I guess it is. It won't stand up yet. Oh yeah, it will stand up on its own. It has a handle that unclips on one side. You can put it on your arm and knit out of it on the go. This is made by, does it have a label in it? I'm sure it did. Stitched by Jessa Lou. I got a feeling that was something I got from the States. This bag, which I don't even remember ever using, Good Stuff Crafts. zippy pouch thing. And then this one, which I really like, from Botanical Yarns, but it's quite big. And I have a few big bags and I don't use them that often. So I decided to get rid of this one because I just haven't used it more than maybe a couple of times. So let me just put those away again. And then I've started going through my books. At the moment, I've got Knitting Lace by Barbara Abbey. That's a very old book. Lovely Knitted Lace by Brooke Nico. That's an American book that came out a few years ago. Very modern book. Basically, she takes 4 basic shapes and creates 16 stunning projects. Wrapped in Lace by Margaret Stove. Yes, I think she's from New Zealand, if I remember correctly. Beautiful book, absolutely stunning, love it, but I haven't looked at it for years. And then I have 2 issues of Pom Pom quarterly. Those are on my website. I've got some bag making books or sewing books I'm going to list later today after I film this. So bag making Bible. I did make some of these bags, including that one. And I'm not a good sewer, and I managed to work my way around the books. It's very good. And then there will be more books and then eventually yarn. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to carry on listing books after I finish this video, go through some more books and try and list them. And then tomorrow and later in the week possibly, I'm going to go through my yarn stash and decide what to pull out and what to keep. And I'm going to film that. So I'm basically going to film going through my yarn stash and what I decide to keep and why and things like that. And then I'm going to list those on my website. I would like to get that video up by next Tuesday and all the yarns on the website by next Tuesday. But I'm not going to list them all in one go. I think I'm going to, the way I've been doing with everything else is I've been clearing out some stuff, listing it. So I cleared out some books the other day and then I photographed them and listed them, because if I clear everything out and then list it all in one go, it's going to be such a massive job. So that's what I'm thinking about doing. If you see anything on the website, the stash section, that you really like, but you're thinking, I don't know what's coming up, maybe I want more, to save on postage, if you want to, you can just put a note in the message section. There's like a place so you can put messages on when you order, when you check out. Just put a note in there saying, I may be interested in more from your D-stash, can you please hold on to this order, or something like that. And then I will not ship your order straight away. I'll wait till I've listed everything, send you a message, and if you let me know that you want more, I will combine postage. If you don't want more, then I will just ship your parcel at that point. So that's the way I've decided to do it. So do check it out, and do check it over the following few days, because I will be listing it. I probably won't be listing anything on Thursday, but I will be listing some, which is today this video is out, but I will be listing some on Friday afternoon, hopefully. So I'm just trying to do it in between other jobs, and I really decided to go for it in the last week, mainly because I didn't go out very much over the weekend because of this cold. And so I spent a lot, but I felt well enough to do stuff, so I spent a lot of time in here sorting stuff out over the weekend, including going through my project bags and stuff. And all the ones I'm selling I washed and I tried to iron them, but some of them are not that easy to iron. And then I've tidied up my desk and my windowsill area, which is over there, and gone through everything on my desk and all that kind of stuff, although I've now piled it full of stuff for this podcast, so it doesn't look very tidy anymore. Anyway, that's the D-stash update that I wanted to give you. I will link the D-stash page below, but you can just go to my website, YarnAddict.co.uk, and click on D-stash. Also, I'm teaching some workshops in September and October. All my workshops are now on my website, I think, and they're also in my newsletter that I have booked in for the autumn at this point. There will be some more, but that's it at the moment, but hopefully there will be some more. At the end of September at Yarndale, I will be at Yarndale selling my yarn and patterns and everything. And I'm also teaching Continental Knitting half-day workshop. I think it's actually fully booked at the moment. There obviously may be cancellations, so if you're interested, keep checking, but it is fully booked at the moment. But if you missed out on that, remember I do also do Continental Knitting as an online course. And then I'm teaching some workshops at the Knitting Hotel. They are knitting retreat weekends, so they tend to be booked in advance. But they also take day guests, so you might be interested in that. Check out my website. There is a page on my website called Workshops and Online Courses. That's where you'll find it. And then in Liscard in Cornwall, my local wool market is on the 5th of October from 11 to 5 at the Liscard Public Hall. You only pay £1 to get in, and that includes a raffle entry. The stalls have been amazing in recent years. Amazing indie dyers, me of course, and different things. So it's really good. And then after the wool market, they normally do 2 weeks of woolly workshops. So I'm teaching a few this year. So the woolly workshop program goes from the 7th to the 17th of October, and there are other workshops happening, so I will link it below. I will just tell you about the ones I'm teaching, but there are other workshops as well. So Tuesday 8th of October in the morning, I'm teaching intarsia knitting. So intarsia is where you do colour work, but not across the whole row like you do with stranded colour work or fair owl knitting. It's just usually sections of blocks of colour or picture knits and that kind of thing. And then Thursday 10th of October in the morning, I am teaching brioche knitting, brioche basics. My workshops, my half-day ones, are £20, so they're really cheap. So I'm teaching brioche basics and learn how to knit 2-colour brioche. So in the 2-colour brioche knitting, we will start knitting this headband. Now, you don't have to knit a headband if you don't want to, but I'll give you the pattern for that. And we'll start knitting it, which the beginning actually starts in the middle of here. So if you want to knit that, you can, but we'll start it in the workshop. But basically 2-colour brioche. And then on the 11th of October, full day workshop, I'm doing how to knit a feral cushion. So we're going to knit, I'm actually working on a new pattern. So it may be this one, it may be another one. I've taught a workshop on this once or twice, I can't remember, maybe twice. But I found because this is quite a big cushion and you cast on quite a lot of stitches, we didn't get that far. Like we didn't get that many rows into it. So I've actually ordered some smaller cushions, and I'm going to make this one in the smallest size probably, and then probably also design 1 or 2 other patterns. So there may be a choice, but we'll see where we are come October. So that's on the 11th of October, and that's all day. So if you want to learn stranded colour work, fair owl knitting in the round, 1 colour in each hand, all that jazz, that'd be the perfect workshop for you. Or if you already have done stranded colour work but you want to improve your techniques, that'd be the perfect workshop. And then I am teaching 17th of October in the morning, half day, brioche improvers. And that workshop is based around my twist hand warmers. So I've tied these together. So these are the same, but in 2 different yarns. It's worked flat, and basically we'll be covering things like increases and decreases, which is what you do to create these beautiful patterns. So that is on 17th of October. So I will link the workshop page below so you can go and check it out if you're interested. There are other things, Christmas decorations, crochet, amigurumi, I can never say that, with Diane Stewart, Tunisian crochet, Tunisian mosaic crochet, tablet weaving, wild weaving, needle felter fat bird bauble, introduction to pin loom weaving, 2-colour pin loom weaving, Christmas wreath, and introduction to spinning using hand spindles. So lots of different things if you happen to be in Cornwall or in South and West Devon, or there is a train station in Liscard, so, and we're on the A38, so we're easy to get to if you're coming from like the Plymouth direction or from the further west in Cornwall direction. That's enough promotional stuff. I hope you're still with me. Let's talk about knitting. So first, I finished this bag a few weeks ago now, crochet bag, which I made with the yarn, hang on, the yarn that's just sitting up behind me. I had 1 thing left. I used 2 of these, I think, or 3. Might be 3. I can't remember, but I finished it a few weeks ago. But I ordered some leather handles. I started trying to make handles and I wasn't that happy with them, so I decided to order some leather ones. I actually thought I'd order black ones, but brown ones came. Had a message last week to say they were delayed because they had to order more leather, so they've been delayed a little bit. But they are quite thick and quite solid, and they smell like leather. And I ordered 4 of them because I thought I might want to make some more bags. And they came with, where is it? I ordered them from on Etsy from a place called RJ Leather Sewing School. RebeccaJane.com. I will try and link their Etsy shop below, but they also do, and they have a YouTube channel also, so I'll link that below. But they have online courses, it looks like, or an online membership plan. Oh yeah, they have online courses in basically making handbags, so I'm going to check that out because that sounds like fun. I guess making leather handbags. I mean, I don't have the equipment, so I don't think I can do that, but I will have a look and see what they do. So these I got pre-punched holes, and they come with these fastenings, which I had a quick look at. They come in a little envelope. Let me just get some out. What are these called? I'm not sure what they're called, but basically it's things that you can like hammer in to secure your handles. But obviously I'm not doing this into like leather or even like woven fabric. I don't know how easy that's, well, there are holes here, I guess. I don't know how easy it's going to be to get it through here and make it secure. So I was thinking I would actually use some of this because I have a bit left over on the last cone I used, and use that to actually sew the handles on. That's what I'm thinking, like sewing them on like the outside like that. But I'm also a bit worried about how secure that's going to be. So this basically arrived like 5 minutes before I started filming, so I just grabbed it to show you. I will try and work it out this afternoon or evening or tomorrow, and then I'll show you next week what I decided and what it ended up looking like. And hopefully I will also have been able to use it a couple of times so I can show you what it looks like. Okay, let's move on to the next thing I've been working on. So I said last week that I needed to make some progress on my Murana shawl. I'm knitting a new sample in Yatagan Organic Trio, and I want to be ready for YarnAddict at the end of September, so I got plenty of time, and I don't have to do anything with the pattern apart from put in new photographs and change the yarn. But that's what it looks like so far. I can't spread it out completely because the needles aren't long enough. I have 400 and nearly 500 stitches, I think. Let's have a look. I have 8 rows left of chart B. So if you've made this pattern, hang on, how many stitches have I got? Chart B. So at the end of chart B, I will have 195 stitches. So I have 8 rows left. So I have 16 stitches less than that. I said last week that I wanted to set myself a goal of knitting 2 rows a day. So that is where I was last week. I put a marker in, and I worked 8 rows. So I have not done 2 rows a day. I have done 8 rows in total, and I've done 2 rows for today. So I have done 2 rows on 4 of those 7 days. So that's not very good, but I have at least made some progress. So I'm going to try and stick to doing 2 rows a day, because then I will eventually finish it. So I got the yarn that Simon chose when we were in Bath at the beginning of May for his birthday, and we went into Wool, Bath. Wool, I think the shop is called Wool, but it's in Bath. On their social media is Wool Bath on Instagram. She's really funny on Instagram. She does a lot of really funny reels. The owner. Anyway, we walked straight past her, so we popped in, and I got some signature 4-ply from West Yorkshire Spinners in the colour Rum Paradise. And I'm sure I've knitted with this colour before. I think I knitted some socks for my daughter in this. And I may also have all of this already, but I'm not sure. It's really pretty colorway. Simon chose this. I was telling my friend, because I was knitting on it at my friend's last week, and she was a bit surprised. But he likes quite bright, colourful socks, so I like it as well. So that's what it looks like. So I think I've done about 40 something rows. Simon quite often likes to fold his socks over, so I decided to rib all the way down because it creates a big fit. It looks small, but it does stretch out quite a bit. So it's very stretchy. But it means that if he's wearing them with, like, say, walking boots and like shorts or something, which he quite often does, especially in summer or early autumn, he can fold the socks over and it will still look the same. So that's what I've decided to rib. It also slows me down a bit, takes a little bit longer to knit. So I made casts on, and I knit on them at my friend's last week. Then we talked about going to the cinema this weekend, so I was going to take them with me. We didn't end up going to the cinema, but we did pop into Plymouth, and I did have to sit in a coffee shop and wait for about half an hour. So I knitted a bit on it then, but I haven't done an awful lot. I haven't done much more on it because these are my out and about socks. I can clip that to my handbag and just take them with me when we go out. So I'm not expecting to make like a huge quick progress on this. I'd like to finish them before we go to Norway at the end of August. We are going away for a few days before then, so I might be able to finish them then, but I'd like to finish them before I go to Norway at the end of August. That's not all I've been knitting this week. I have been knitting quite a bit else, but it's on a secret project, so I can't show you. I did show you the yarn last week, I think. I'm really enjoying the yarn. It is Stylecraft Recreate, and I'm really enjoying it. It's quite nice to knit with. I'm coming to the end of that. I should hopefully be able to finish it today, and then I need to do something else. It has got quite a bit of finishing on it, which I'm also hoping to do today. So we'll see how I get on with that. So I'm trying to be a little bit, not telling you exactly what it is. So I've got to be careful what I say, because if I say certain things, you'll know what it is. You'll see it in a magazine in a few months' time, this autumn, I think. So I'm quite excited about that, but I'm nearly finished. And then I cast them for another, well, I'm in the process of casting them for another magazine design. I cast on yesterday, but there was a problem with the pattern. So I came up here last night and sat here and knitted through it and tried to iron out the problem I had. And I thought I did, but then this morning I had another idea. So I'm going to try and re-knit it in my new idea, just the start of it. Which is basically the stitch pattern, to make sure I'm happy with it, because the actual thing itself is knitted in mohair lace weight, so it's really thin and mohair is not very good when you make mistakes. So I've been knitting with a thicker yarn. I actually got some of my Yatagan merino cotton because it's really smooth and easy to knit with, and I'm just ironing out my stitch pattern problems with that before I cast them with the mohair again. So I'm hoping to get that sorted out today as well, so that when I finish the other secret project, I can get this one on the needles. And it doesn't actually have a deadline as such, but I said I would get it done as soon as possible. So I'd like to get it done by end of July or like first week in August, really. But I have two other deadlines for that time. One of my sample knitters is knitting, one is the one I'm knitting, which is nearly finished. So we'll see how it goes. But I do have another. So basically, I have one secret project on the needles, and one I need to get on the needles very soon. I also said a couple of weeks ago that I wanted to cast them for either a sweater or something else using my Truly Hooked advent calendar, and it's hanging just behind the camera on the wall so I don't forget about it. And I started swatching a stitch pattern I had in mind. Don't like the stitch pattern the way it's knitting up, so I'm going to rip that out later this week and re-swatch it, and hopefully also maybe get that on the needles in the next week if I have enough yarn. I have some other yarn that I was thinking about using, but I need to work out how much yarn I need, and if I can knit it in the Truly Hooked advent calendar from last year, I think I will do. I was also very keen to cast on a sweater in that yarn, which is a Manos Uruguay Marina. I like a really thin sweater that I could use, especially in the summer, on slightly cooler days where a 4-ply sweater is too thick. But the problem is I have too many deadlines to be able to knit on it at the moment. And I was also thinking, because when I go to Norway at the end of August, I am traveling with just a backpack. I'm not even taking a carry-on suitcase, because I booked a basic Ryanair ticket, and I have loads of clothes and toiletries and different things in Norway. So I'm basically carrying this with a backpack. So if I'm taking a knitting project with me, it needs to be small enough to fit in my backpack with all my other stuff. So things like my liquids bag, my makeup, my chargers and my tech, tablet, phone, all that kind of stuff, drinks, snacks. I mean, I'll take like a water bottle like this with me. What else? A few other things, small things. So I need to, and it doesn't sound like a lot, but when you actually fill it up, it is actually quite a lot. And when I came back from Norway last time, that's basically all I had in there. I didn't have any clothes. I think I maybe had one t-shirt in there. And I really struggled to fit it all in. And I bought a bigger backpack that is the maximum size that Ryanair will allow you to take on board, that will fit under the seat in front of you. But if I fill it completely full, so it's like bursting at the seams, I don't think it will fit into their sizes at the gate. And when I flew from Norway last time, they did check other people's luggage that had paid for like the basic ticket. And I tried it. I used them when I went to Spain, but I paid for the priorities. I had a carry-on case as well. And I did go to one of the bag sizes at the boarding gates, an empty gate, and tried it to see if it would fit. And it did fit easily, but it wasn't completely full. So I need to bear that in mind. So I'm thinking that was a long way of saying that the sweater I want to do in Marina, Manos Uruguay Marina, would probably be a good project to take to Norway with me, because it would probably only need 2 skeins. Or at least the amount I could knit during a whole day would need 2 skeins. So I'm thinking I will hold on to that, even though I'd like to cast them now and finish it so that I could use it this summer. I can also use it in the winter with like a t-shirt or sleeveless top or something underneath. So I'm happy to knit it because I can use it in the winter as well. But I kind of want to cast them now. But I think it would probably be a perfect project to take to Norway with me when I go at the end of August. Last thing I want to talk about is issue 253 of Knitting Magazine. It's in the shops in the UK now. I've done a video on this, which was Tuesday, which is today I'm filming this, where I show you some of the stuff that's in this magazine and I show you my design. I'm just quickly going to show, I think I maybe mentioned this last week as well. I can't find my sample because they sent me the sample back, and I'm pretty sure I showed it to you last week. Is it there? No, it's not. I don't know what I've done with it because I definitely had it here and now I can't find it. This is the whole idea of making my office tidier so I can find stuff, and now I can't find it. Anyway, I'm sure it's almost safe. I may even have taken it downstairs, but I can't remember. But it's a tote bag, brioche. I did a video which was out on Tuesday where I talked about this design. I talked about what else was in this issue, and I also mentioned some of the tutorials I have for brioche knitting. So if you've never done brioche before, this would be a good project because it's just basic 2-color brioche. And I have several tutorials for that which I link in Tuesday's video. So I'm not going to link them all here again, but I linked them in Tuesday's video. But I also have an online brioche course, so Successful Brioche Knitting online course. If you want to learn brioche and you feel like you need more help than just a YouTube tutorial, then I have an online course for you. I take you right through from single color brioche, 2-color brioche, syncopated brioche, increases and decreases, which is what creates the pretty patterns you see in brioche, fixing mistakes, what you do if you drop stitches, and probably some more that I can't remember. So I will link that course below, and I will link the page where you can find all my online courses if you are interested. That is it for today. Just a quick mention, if you're interested in coming with me to Italy next year, in April next year, 2025, I'll be hosting a luxury knitting retreat in Italy. It's about an hour and a half or something away from Ancona in central Italy. It's a beautiful old restored palazzo which has been turned into a luxury boutique hotel, and it looks amazing. We're going to be doing lots of knitting, eating lots of scrumptious Italian food. We're going to do a pasta making class, a local excursion, visit a we're going to do truffle hunting, we're going to visit a pottery, and of course do lots and lots of knitting and hang out and have a lot of fun and enjoy it. So if you're interested in that, I will link it below. Do check it out and book your place as soon as you can so you don't miss out. That is it for today. Thank you very much for joining me. I will be back on Tuesday, hopefully, with this big D-stash yarn video. And if you're not interested in the D-stash, you might be interested in just how I go through my yarn and decide what to keep and what not to keep. So you might be interested in watching that, but hopefully that will be out on Tuesday. That's my plan anyway. And hopefully by then my cold will be over because I'm getting rather fed up with it. Thank you very much for watching. I really appreciate it. If you like this video, please give it a thumbs up. And if you haven't subscribed, please consider subscribing. It helps me a lot if you decide to subscribe. And if you like this video and if you comment, it just helps my video get seen by lots more people. If you know knitters who might be interested, do share this video with them as well. I really appreciate it. Check out my social media. So I have my Facebook group, Love of Lace Knitting, which is always linked below. I'm YarnAddict Annie on Twitter, Threads, Instagram, TikTok, although I don't post that much on TikTok. If you follow me on Instagram, make sure you keep an eye on my Instagram stories because I post there almost every day and I don't post on my grid every day. So do check that out as well. And make sure you sign up to my newsletter. That's it for today. I will see you next week.